Hi everyone, a very warm welcome back to MEC-TEC and the mess that was once my garden. We're back on the workshop build today. We've got a lot to get done. We need to get this thing sorted out and finished so I can actually get back in the garage again, because at the moment it is rammed in there and I can't do any work on any cars, which is why this sort of mini series on the workshop has taken precedent over everything else. So without further ado, let's crack on, get some work done. Rightio, we are working on the other side now. As you can see, this one's got the same problem as with the back, so we're going to need to cut the bottoms of those struts off, obviously clean it all up and get a new piece of wood fitted on there. So I'm not going to waffle on, let's get this done and then we can hopefully look at the final side and then start putting bits together. Right, there we go. That is that side all repaired. It's had 3 coats of paint now. It is looking absolutely brilliant, so that's superb. I'll just show you down here. I've got the other side panel out down here ready to do the same with. This one's probably the least rotten out of all of them, but it will need modifying because we've got to fit this corner around the concrete over there. So I'm going to do the same thing with the wood, get this piece replaced, and I'm going to have to do some measuring basically from this upright here and take that corner out there, wherever I measure it to, so that it will fit round, because obviously it sits a lot lower than the concrete over in that corner over there. So we need to do that, and also I need to get these trees trimmed, all these little branches under here, and to get all these trimmed to obviously allow this main rear panel to sit back and be vertical. Obviously there you can see, if you look up there, they're stopping it from sitting vertical, so we need to get rid of this one, probably this one, maybe that one as well. So we're going to need to get those cut too. The front of the trees do want to trim up here as well, but we'll worry about that after. So yeah, I'm not sure, 100% sure what order I'm going to do it in yet. I'm also possibly going to put another reinforcement on those legs over there. Someone commented on one of the videos that they would have put the wood underneath the frame rather than on the sides. So what I might do is put an extra corner post either in there or underneath this one, next to this one, that sits in that gap, so that it's actually got wood that it sits on top of as well as being screwed into the side of it, which should make it mega strong. Then it definitely won't move. So I might do that before I put the floor down too. So yeah, got a few jobs to get carrying on with, but it's so blooming hot. I'm trying to keep going, but it's difficult. I'll come back to you when I've got a bit more progress. Right, I've done a little bit on this. It's not mega progress, I'm just showing you what I've got to go through to get this one right. So obviously we've got to replace this bottom runner, the same as on all the other panels. This is the bit we've got to modify. As you can see, I've got the slats off. I've marked a little line just there, which is a foot, and that is how much we've got to come up. Now the gap I've got is 8 feet, which is just over this side of this piece of wood, so I'm going to cut it to the edge of that wood basically there. So the only section I need to get rid of is this sort of curved section there, so we're going to need to cut that across there, cut these slats from the other side level with the edge of that wood, and then we'll probably use this piece of wood, put it across there to cap that off to make it strong, and then we can put, I've got to put half a slat back on again, which is that one there. I've got to cut in half, so I managed to get that one out in one piece, and hopefully that should do the job with any luck, and it should fit round our base over there then. And I've allowed, I've measured it without taking into account the floor that's going to be underneath it, so we'll have an 18mm gap, which will obviously mean that the wood on this bit won't actually be touching the ground, which is good because it means it won't soak up any moisture. So that should hopefully work fairly well. I'm going to do a few cuts and I'll come back to you and have a little bit more progress. Right, as you can see there, I've got my new piece of wood going along the bottom there now. I didn't time lapse that again because you've seen me do that before. And I'm coming to this end now, and I've got a mark there, as I showed you, which is where I need to cut. Well, actually I'm not cutting this side, but I just wanted to put a mark there. I transferred that to this side. I need to cut this side off, so this bit is going. Once that's off, I'm going to cut these two bottom slats level with this. Once they're out of the way and this bit's out of the way, I can then use this bit of wood, cut it to length and put it across here, and then I'll cut this slat so that it matches the bottom of that piece of wood, and it all looks absolutely marvellous. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, there we go. That is the corner modification done, as you can see. Luckily enough, obviously the angle that I cut that piece at gave me an angle on this piece which matched up perfectly when I put it back in there, which was quite handy. All I had to do was cut the square end to length and then it fit nice. So that's all nice and strong now. I'm going to give that a couple of coats of stain inside there, flip it over, put the new log lap slat in here on the other side, and then that panel should be good to go with any luck. Hopefully it'll all fit. Only time will tell on that side of things, but as long as I've measured it right, it should fit. So there we go. That is really good, and pleased with that. It didn't go as bad as I thought. I thought it was going to be a bit of a pain, but it's actually been quite alright. So as you would have seen, I did try to drill a hole through here to screw that piece of wood in, but there's a nail inside there or something that I was hitting, so I've gone through the top there, and that'll be absolutely fine. Obviously you've got the log lap on the top, which strengthens it up a little bit as well, so should be top banana. Right, there we go. That has got its third coat of paint on there. It's now drying. It's not quite dry yet, it's a slightly different colour, but it will dry the same as all in there as well. And that is looking really, really good. Pleased with that. So next job now is we've got the back panel of the shed, workshop, I've got to stop calling it a shed, standing up here. And the reason for that is I can now see which branches I need to cut off the tree so that it can sit back, obviously vertical, on the back of this frame. So anything in line with that framework down there needs to be obviously taken back. So that is going to be the next job. I'm going to get those bits cut off of there, and whichever ones I work out need doing, and hopefully then we can get that moved back into its sort of resting position, so we can maybe start getting some floors in or whatever. Let's carry on. Rightio, as you would have just seen there, I've got the trees cut back up high enough to allow that panel at the back there to sit where it needs to sit now, and that is vertical. As you can see, I've got the new modified side laying there as well, ready to go in. Now I have added a bit of extra insurance underneath here, so doubled up those legs. As you can see, it goes right underneath on that one and that one over there. See it on the back there. I didn't do this one purely because I didn't want to go too close to the edge of that slab. So, but that was just a little bit of extra insurance. Should those bolts ever sag for whatever reason, then there's wood underneath, so it can't go anywhere. So that should be mega strong. So next thing now I think is start getting the floor panels out. I've got 3 sheets of 8x4 ply, 18mm ply, which I've already painted. So I'll get those out here and we'll carry on. Right, there we go. That is the first sheet of ply out. As you can see, it's painted in Mrs. MEC-TEC's favourite colour, the red that she didn't like on the outside. So I've done it on the floor instead. And what I've just done, if I show you the edge of this, I've painted it obviously, but you can see along that edge, you still get little gaps in the grain, especially there, things like that. And obviously I didn't want moisture to get in the end of it, so what I've done is, on the 2 sides I can't get to at the moment, I've rubbed some polyurethane sealant around it, so it seals the edge of the wood completely. So there's those 2 sides there. That's going to be this side and this side. Now I've got a bit of a problem because the sheet is 4 foot and my joists aren't, so I'm going to have to do some jiggery pokery and add a few extra bits of wood in here and there for some support, which is a bit of a pain, but never mind, it is what it is. So I'm going to get this laid down, get it underneath this wall, see how we look. Rightio, that is the first floor panel in, and as you can see I've also added a row of nogs right the way along that section there to obviously bridge the gap where the end of that panel ends and the new one starts. What I'll also do is maybe get some smaller pieces of wood, screw them through the ply in the gaps, and then screw it to the other bit of ply next to it, so that it effectively makes them one piece, which will give them a bit more strength as well. I mean, there's no movement when you stand on it, even on the edge of it with those nogs there. There wasn't before, but I just didn't want to have a weak point in the future. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. So that was my last length of wood though that I've used up making them nogs. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the next one, because I'm going to need to do the same when we get to the next sheet along as well. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm going to get the next floor sheet out, and hopefully it should all go rather well. With any luck, let's carry on. Right, there we go. That is the second floor panel in. As you can see, I've got another row of nogs in this section here. 3 of them are slightly narrower, unfortunately, because I've run out of wood, but that is absolutely fine. They're just as strong, just as deep, just slightly narrower. I've got the infills to join the 2 bits of ply together, all screwed in there, and I've done exactly the same with this join here. As you can see, they're screwed right the way down that join, so that is all effectively making it all one piece. I've got a bit of a creak over here. I'm going to have to screw that down. I can't have a creaky floor. That's going to be really annoying otherwise. So yeah, we need to get the 3rd sheet of ply out here. That is going to go up to that beam there, so we shouldn't have to add any more nogs in. And then we can start getting the walls put into position, stuff like that. There we go. We've got 2 waiting over there patiently, and we've got the big one at the back there waiting patiently. So let's get this 3rd bit of ply out and crack on and get it done. Right, that is the 3rd and final floor panel down. As you can see, all screwed down, joined together, looking absolutely marvellous. You will see I've got the side back over here again. I had to modify this corner again to take this vertical section back very slightly, and I think I'm going to have to, as you can see by the dust down here, I've had to chip away a bit at the corner of that base. I'm not sure whether I'm going to have to modify this base a little bit more. I've actually got an angle grinder now which has got some stone wheels in it, and I was thinking about maybe cutting a groove down this to obviously take it back slightly so that it's not right up against the front of the shed. Not sure on that yet. I'm going to have to think about that and make sure I do it right whatever I do, but at least that's the floor in position as such. And we have got, if I stand back, plenty of room Pt4, lots of activities and storage and all the rest of it, so it should be really, really good once it's done. So there we go, lovely jubbly. Right then, that is going to be it for this episode on MEC-TEC. I'm afraid I can't go any further, I've run out of time. This video is already a day late, so I can only apologise for that. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather this week, so I've been trying to carry on doing bits and bobs where I can, but this is where we're at the moment. So there we go, it's one of those things. I didn't get quite as far as I would have liked in this video, but it's still progress, so that's the main thing. If you do like what you see, make sure you do 4 things for me: like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. It's all free, it costs you nothing, and it really helps me out on the channel. I've got something in my eye, which is really annoying. Remember, I've got Instagram, MEC_TEC1985, and I have got Facebook, MEC-TEC, for little sneak peeks during the week of what I'm up to. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching. And if you want to join me soon for more what would normally be automotive adventures or carpentry capers in this case, then make sure you tune in again next time. Cheers guys.